Hooliganism, football violence, the English disease. The first thing that you think about, or the first team that will arise when you think about football violence, is a team from South London called Millwall. Their actual chant or their phrase or slogan is, "No one likes us, we don't care." Millwall have been well known, and their firm have been well known since the 70s right up until today. There's been the halfway line.
Of the hierarchy are the youngsters. They call themselves the halfway line, and when it comes to aggro, they imitate their elders. But as they grow older, they have a career choice to make.
The treatment.
Some of them graduate to treatment. They're the ones in the surgical masks. Although one of Millwall's heavy mobs, treatment don't pick fights, but they're always there when they happen.
The F Troop up until today. Now, during this video, we're going to look at people like Harry the dog, famous in the news programme from 1977. We're also going to look at Millwall v Luton in the FA Cup when Luton got absolutely smashed to pieces. We're also going to look at when Millwall went to Cardiff. Millwall are almost mythical about their stories. We'll also be talking about Millwall's rivals, Westham, who they've had many battles with over the years. We're also going to be looking at Ginger Bob. Ginger Bob did a podcast with James English. It caused a storm. A lot of people said that Ginger Bob embellished and exaggerated his stories. But there's no doubt that Ginger Bob did his bit at Millwall and was part of Millwall's firm.
Millwall is more than a football club, it's a way of life. The glory comes not from the team, but from the reputation of its supporters.
Best supporters in the lane. They go anywhere. Anyone comes down here, they get slung out, I'll tell you that now.
People are frightened of us all over England.
F-Troop are the real nutters, self-confessed loonies like Harry the dog, who go looking for fights and are seldom disappointed.
All we're going for is a good game of football, a good punch-up and a good piss-up. That's all about Millwall.
When they come down Millwall, they get battered. They get battered.
If someone has a go at me, I'll have a go at them.
Yeah, oh, I agree with it.
And I won't take it from a northerner.
Well, why?
Oh, because I won't. I won't.
Well, would you?
I've been following it. I'll tell you what, I've been following it years. I've been following this club years.
Yeah,
and I mean years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not going away for some dirty northern punts to spit all over me.
You know, you've got a load of nutters out there, really. Millwall supports. They're all nutters.
If I want a Millwall support, I wouldn't go down there. They're fucking mad.
Where do you stand on the terraces?
Halfway line.
Halfway line,
The
alright.
biggest end.
That's the best thing.
Like Tottenham come in,
Halfway
I reckon they're going to take their end. They come up to us, but then we'll just gather up and go into them.
Lucky with Millwall, we stayed there, and if we was outnumbered like 20-1, we had to stay there and fight like.
You've just got to sort of stay there and stay your own pitch. If there's going to be a rut, you stay there. Any blokes that don't run and you're away from home and stand there and have a good fight is a good Millwall supporter.
We've got standards. I mean, you're not like your Uniteds and your Chelseas that go around kicking them cripples in wheelchairs and things like that. If there's a bystander there, like a woman with a baby, they'll help that woman and a child out of the way and then carry on with the racket. Well, we want to do a few geezers out there, like. We're the F-Troop, see what I mean? We love a row, we go football. And this is it.
Oh, look, too bad, Harry, look.
Is that more important than the football?
No, nothing's more important.
Well, it's about equal.
We go there, like, and you've always got that one northerner who wants to have a go at you. So, like, if they have a go at you, like, you're going to have a go back. It's not being an hooligan.
Bobby the Wolf, Harry the Dog, Mad Pat and Winkle piled into the bus.
Everybody knows us, we're called Millwall.
As the 1970s ended, football entered a new era of the 1980s. The new era also on the pitch, but it also happened on the terraces. And this was the era of the football casual. Milwall that had been known by the halfway line, the treatment, or the F Troop, had now become known as the Millwall Bushwhackers. Also, football hooligan firms started dressing differently from the skinhead look. This was to outdo the police. They started to wear high-end sportswear, club art from Italy, Fila, Sergio Tacchini, Lacoste, Armani, etc., all to evade the police because the police were looking for skinheads.
What started the trouble last night?
They're just a Millwall. They got on the pitch, right? And the coppers just let them go into the Maple. Let them come into where we were.
But there wasn't enough room for them, for all their fans.
No. I know, but they should have followed that before. They should have knocked them out of the ground and said there was no more room. You know what I mean? Or at least clear the space, but instead of just putting them in there where Luton supporters are already. They should have cleared the space first, got Luton supporters out of there.
Like 2 friends of mine from Bermondsey drove up to me and said to me, "Do you fancy coming Luton tonight?" And I said, "Do I need a ticket?" So they said no. So I said, "I'll jump in the Beetle." Volkswagen Beetles were quite popular in Bermondsey at the time.
Right.
That was a car to have. So I said, "I'll go with you," thinking it'd be just a normal night. Just didn't expect anything to materialise. We got to the ground, we got in earlier, and they were just kept coming in and in and in and in and in, and it was just getting too crowded. And Shell Millwall wanted to get the game postponed because they was losing. As soon as they was losing, near the end, they was going to try and get the game postponed, which was the idea.
Right.
But I had a guy next to me, and he was pulling the fence pole out. I said, "What are you doing with that, mate?" And he said, "I'm just going to get the cameraman." I said, "All right, mate, you crack on."
Yeah, mate.
And then the funniest thing was this inspector, obviously high up in the police, come over to us, stood in front of us and went, "Right, that's enough." And I thought, "God, mate, please go away. Please just walk away."
Oh.
And this wall of spit just come over my head, just landed on his peak cap, was dripping, and that was the answer he got. And he was like, "Oh, why did you just come up to us? You know, you're not going to get no joy out of this lot, you know." But it got worse. You know, the seats getting chucked at the old bill, but I didn't see any other fans there apart from myself. I was there, but I didn't see any other. It says in their book that they had Tottenham there, Arsenal there, but I didn't see any. Luton has always got a tasty little mob themselves, Luton, so they'll be looking for it as well.
Yeah, the mix. Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I think, as I say, I think they were trying to get. My perspective is they were trying to get the game abandoned so they can sort of get a game replayed, basically, and it all escalated. And obviously, there's too many people let in, so they were squashed up against the fences. So basically, you know, we didn't want another Hillsborough. So it was lucky the fences all burst open and everyone was out on the pitch.
That actually were let into.
I don't know about people without tickets. I just think it's because you pay to get in. I mean, it's the 5th round of the FA Cup on 6th round, and you got playing Millwall at home. You make it all ticket, don't you? You don't say pay as you get in.
Yeah, of course not.
I'm just paying. Most people are quite lagging as well on the other stuff as well. So
yeah.
Daylight and the full extent of the damage to the ground was plain to see.
This is the end that was given to the Millwall fans that night. Normally that would hold 5,000 to 6,000. That night there had to be in excess of 8,000 or 9,000 people here trying to get into that ground. Potential for violence was in the air everywhere.
It was Millwall supporters behaving bad, I suppose. It was a Luton club not being able to organise the match. It was the Luton turnstile operators, right? It was the police not being able to control the situation and organise it.
There was a skip position right there which we emptied onto them to hold them back where we could here, as long as we could, until they appeared from that road down there as well. I knew Crystal Palace were down here. We know guys that went to Chelsea, we knew they were coming. We saw Arsenal at the bottom of the road. I even knew guys from Kent that came out. So then we backed off to that corner. A group of lads jump up with you, and all you hear the words EIE, Gooners, who wants it? You just think, fucking hell, how much more have we got to do today?
Millwall's got a lot of sleeping supporters that only go to the big games, and most of them are hooligans. They wait for the big games and they'll turn up en masse.
We still don't say Millwall overran us, we just say London and the South East overran us that day.
Then people turn and say it must be other teams. It's not other teams, it's just all our sleeping supporters come back.
when you're hearing stories of people having an ear bitten off, with the sirens in the background, ambulances, police not being very, very apparent, no control, it weren't great, let's just put it that way. It's horrible.
Really, if you know there's going to be a disaster, they should have called the game off and had it replayed another time. They should have called the game off.
Because of what went on in Luton in 1985, Maggie Thatcher decided to get involved. She set up a war cabinet against football hooligans. She wanted the sentence to be longer and harsher. Football hooligans became public enemy number one. The Millwall versus Westham rivalry actually started from the docks, a little bit like Pompey versus Southampton. The derby used to be known as the Dockers Derby, and probably amongst old school lads, it's probably still known as that. The fan bases worked at competing companies from East London and South London, and this obviously spilled over to football, which obviously happens when you've got two teams that are close to each other.
On platform 4, a scuffle developed when gangs of Millwall and West Ham supporters tried to snatch each other's scarves as trophies.
This is Fortress Upton Park. Right? Millwall have come in 1978 Judgment Day. It's just pure hate, yeah. Right? This is the most violent derby of all. This is the one the helicopter was up in the air. Yeah, they're the biggest police turnout. But you want to know about West Ham Millwall, because the day they talk about Tottenham as their rivals, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And people forget their history. It's always been them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's only them.
Yeah, like what? Even heard the rumour there's a shooter going about.
Really?
Yeah, it's going off everywhere. Old Kent Road area.
So what are we talking about? Back streets of Bermondsey, down the Old Kent Road?
Back streets of Bermondsey, West Ham, down the Old Kent Road. There's too many old bill about, they're going to wait till after they won up.
There will be numerous pockets of Millwall fans travelling from all parts of South London and Kent, and there'll be several meeting places for them. Hopefully we can monitor a few. They will have to go on the underground system at some stage, and hopefully we'll be able to pick them up today. We've just seen a few little mobs walking down the road, and in 3s and 4s, so we're going to have a look where they're going. So you can't just allow 400 to 500 football supporters, whether they're thugs or not. You can't allow them just to roam the transport system unpoliced. Yeah, BX, we have movement of West Ham fans in the Barking Road. Approximate numbers 250. Any update, BX, will keep you informed.
I think we've got movement. There's a little firm on the opposite side of the road also.
The nearest underground station to this must be Plaistow.
That's right, yeah, they're still coming out of the pub.
Predictable, they're not going to the closest station. I suppose they think they're giving the police the run around, they're changing and then changing again. I think they're giving the police the run around. Lima Echo 2 from Metro 750.
3, go ahead.
Yeah, what is the destination of the West Ham supporters, over?
Yeah, now they're going to go district line to Whitechapel, that's the overheard, over.
Yeah, could I have that confirmed they are going to Whitechapel?
No, I can't confirm that. The train is going to Whitechapel. I didn't speak to the fans,
Yeah, received. Wanker. BX from Metro 750. Yeah, BX, for your information, we're at New Cross Gate. The West Ham fans, large amounts, have no Met police escort. Repeat, no MP escort.
Apparently there are units outside the station.
Now, this is very unusual for them not to be escorted.
Absolutely.
I I don't know what's happened here, but there's been a cock-up on behalf of the...
Mind you, there's a carrier.
Yeah, it's not very heavy, is it?
It goes off, they ain't got a chance. It starts in the middle of the road, they ain't got a chance.
Yeah, I received that, BX. We are on scene. There's no police escort whatsoever, apart from one unit.
Yeah, I say again, from Charlie Mike, they're saying this is a ploy by them, not to escort them, but the route itself is a police road.
It's the biggest load of bollocks I've ever heard in my life. It said it's a ploy by the police, not to escort them. The route is policed. Well, I've heard it all now. Milwall are in the pub opposite. Watch the camera, watch the camera. That's Milwall, all on the opposite side of the road. There's the pub there, with Millwall all inside. And this is all Westham walking past.
They're going to have to pack something, aren't they? There they go. They're getting round here.
Right, stop it. I'm going to try and do the pub.
They're going to have a crack at the pub. That's where it'll go.
Look, they're going to do the pub now. Look, they're doing it. Come on, they're doing it now. Yeah, BX from Metro 750, urgent assistance, just outside the Crown and Anchor. BX from Metro 750, can you inform MP units Westham are still unescorted, there is disorder taking place.
The Old Kent Road.
Yeah, we're in the Old Kent Road, by the Crown and Anchor Public House. It's the next pub up, going in an orderly direction. It's been attacked by West Ham supporters. There's large-scale disturbance in the street. There are no MP units available. We are with the West Ham fans. There are people now into the street. There is serious disorder.
I'm going up and round, Damien. I want to get round opposite it.
That's affirmative. No. BX, sorry to cut in, it's not the Crown and Anchor, it's the next pub along from the Crown and Anchor. It's being at this moment attacked. There is large-scale disorder.
Here they come again, they're going again up Boozer.
Look, behind. Yeah, BX from Metro 750, for your information. It's now outside the Canterbury Arms, Old Kent Road, serious disorder. MP are on scene. Yeah, look, there's fronts here.
Yeah, they're having a go again.
Look. It's happening in front. Look.
Come on.
I tell you, that is what it's called. West Ham taking liberties at Millwall.
Absolute liberties with them. They're West Ham.
Basically, West Ham has come to Millwall. They come on Millwall's ground. They've smashed their pubs up. To them, it's a victory.
Dye, I won't say what they call him. Dye the taxi. I won't say what his second name is, but he's Cardiff. He's a year younger than me, and he said the best row he's ever seen at football was the 28th of March 1976 when we played, and we had 300 firm. They had 2,000. And they had all these black girls and mixed race girls with pop socks on, used to have in the 70s, and they had all the steel combs and the knives. And some of our people were getting stabbed, and I said to the old Bill, look, what are you going to do? And then they picked them up, tipped them up, and all the steel combs and knives fell down. But what happened, one of my friends, he got captured by Cardiff, and they was beating him to death. And I had hush puppies on, which is silly to wear hush puppies. I've gone back in the crowd, into Cardiff's firm, because we were 300 in the block, and they was like surrounding either side, and they'd like 2,000 firm. So I've gone back and pulled him along the floor. People have attacked me, but because of the adrenaline, I managed to block them. And about 10 guys come back to help me, pulled him back, saved his life in the firm. Now, when we got back to the station, Cardiff's firm and the police were all laughing. They went to walk back to the town centre, and what happened? A train came in, and we were told to get on this empty train straight back to London. Only 50 got on the train. There was still 200. I'll give a council of war. I spoke to them. I'll give a council of war. I said, let them get. We're going to kick them gates out and come. We kicked the gates in. 250s come out, and we run riot. Smashed all the pubs up. And the police had to come back in force. Anyone we see hanging about,
this guy died who was on their side. He said it's the best he's ever seen, and he's been up and down the country for years. That was the 28th of March 76. I was a day before me 18th birthday, but it was just like the Wild West. But when we played West Ham in '89 over there, we had 700 firm. We met at Surrey Docks. We got off at Plaistow because we were told to by West Ham, and the police tried to hold us, but we had 700 firm. We pushed the police. West Ham come out of a side street, a pub at a side street, and they was about 300 handed, and they see how many numbers were. So what they were done, they went round the back street to negate the numbers, so they're sort of their front people could get to the front and maybe push us back. But what happened, the police are there, so loads of police. One of their top fighters, or their best fighters, was a guy called Demolition Chris, 6'6", boots, steel boots. He had boiler suit. So the police said to me and him, "We'll give you 5 minutes." So this man, he's 6'6", I'm about 6'1", so I thought, it's a bit like the OK Corral. Who gets him first? Or I've always had speed of hands, because boxers I work with doing door work and security, they said for a big man, your hand speed is unbelievable. But what happened, I got my punch in first, a big one on his chin, put him down, knocked him out, one punch. And that was in front of all them people. And you can imagine how you feel after that. Well, he could have done me, I could have done him, but the fact is I just got him first and done him. And that particular game, because they was embarrassed, West Ham, we came back to South London to a place called Surrey Docks, and we was in the pub. We were waiting for them to come back. They were coming back. And they did come back, but what happened, they came back late, about 9 o'clock. They came back 400-handed. We had 350, but what happened, people who don't live in South London anymore, because I was up in Edmonton, so I've left. There was only 100 Millwall left. They were tooled up, but it was all the Bermondsey lot. West Ham came out, but Millwall attacked them straight away and run them everywhere. They run them back in the station, they run them back over, there's a place called Southwark Park, and they run them down the road. They broke ranks, West Ham, and a lot of them got hurt. But for 100 guys to do 400. But the problem we have with West Ham is that they don't admit, when we get done, we admit they never admitted it. And there's people, stuff I'm saying now, they think I'm talking fairy tales. What happened, I'll tell you this incident, which is very important. West Ham are playing Crystal Palace at Selhurst Park. Now, we're only playing Hull City at home in the third division. We was in a pub called the Rose Inn, so I've gone in the pub. There's 60 Millwall in there. There's all these cases on the floor with baseball bats, and they said, Bob, they said, it's all going to go off in a minute. I said, what do you want? He said, West Ham's coming out of New Cross Station. They're going to come up to us, and we've got a big row. We were 60-handed. We stood in a line. They come up the road. It was like Zulu, 350. We all pulled out baseball bat, and as they got close, they were just smashing them with baseball bats. They run them down the road, and what happened, just before New Cross Gate Station, you got to the left, there's a pub called the New Cross Inn. Just next to there, you got a Jamaican barber shop. So he said, what's all the commotion? What's going on? I said, it's people from East London, West Ham, come over to South London to take liberties. So they all come out, pulled knives, and they was all getting involved as well, the Jamaican guys. We pushed them back to New Cross Station, and they was all... And then what happened, the police turned up, and Millwall ran all down the side streets. But I stayed and was still punching people. I got arrested. One of West Ham's black guys got done with a milk crate, and he was like severe head injuries. I got arrested, put in what they call a Q car, which is like plainclothes police, nicked. I put on an act and said to the police, my brother's been stabbed. He's on the operating table at Greenwich Hospital. And I was convincing. They said, right, we're going to let you go, but if we see you, because there's going to be loads of more trouble, then you are nicked. So I had to come off the scene. But what happened, BG, you know what I'm talking about, don't you? He brought 100 of West Ham's, because he's been embarrassing, and he's come back and he's gone to a pub called the Crown and Anchor, and it's like 50 Millwall's top boys, the older ones now, so it's all gone off again. And then West Ham's got done for a second time. Because of the embarrassment, what happened, another guy, CP, you know that is, don't you? He had to go, he was going to court, so he's going to get put away for football activities. And then we had a decommissioned post office van with all weapons in. So Millwall, this is the week after. This is like March 84. Now, because I missed the train with my brother to go from Queen's Road, Peckham, to London Bridge, I missed all the action, or the start of the action. Now, what happened, there's 50 Millwall. It was like... The younger ones, and 40 younger ones and 10 older ones. And what happened, West Ham was 120-handed. It was all their firm, the under-5s and the Birdman. You know the Birdman is, don't you? So what happened, they've all got tooled up. Millwall see West Ham at the bottom of the hill at London Bridge Station, run down at them, and as West Ham's come around the corner, they went, have some of this, pulled all the tools up and run Millwall back to the station. Now, what happened, 40 of the youngsters just run away and left 10 guys, older ones, with 2 young kids. So they stood behind this barrier where the swing doors were, and they was giving them crates of pills bottles. They throwing, as West Ham trying to get through the doors, they were all getting hit on the head. The reason there was no police there was a political demonstration going on at Waterloo Station. All the police were down there. So when I turned up, it's been going on for 10 or 15 minutes, this standoff. When I got up, there was all... I thought it was an IRA attack. You're talking about 84. Now, there was women and children and ordinary people cowered against the wall, all like... And I looked, and it was all like smoke and all shower glass flitting through the air. So I see a fight at the door, outside the rail bar, the main door where the black taxis are, and I thought, who's Millwall and who's West Ham? So I've looked and I see 10 Millwall. So I've turned round, I said to my brother, stand behind me. So I said to the older guys, I said, I'm going to have some of this. But I took my coat off and I give West Ham a speech. I said, you know me, Ginger Bob, you know, I wasn't here earlier, I'm here now. And I said, if you want it, I wasn't even tooled up. They were tooled up. I said to the guys, over you come, lads. So there was 12 of us. We run 120. We run, and they dropped their weapons, and the Birdman threw a petrol bomb that went 64 up in the air. And as they was all trying to get away, they dropped their weapons, James. And there was a big pile of them all falling out, and we just give them a terrible beating. But they think it never happened, but I was there at the front of it. Like they say that it's a figment of imagination, but it's not.